All right. So good day, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, guys, from wherever in the world you're watching this particular stream. You guys already know the name is Adetola Freeman, and this is the NFP live trading session. Today, 6th of June, 2025. All right. So it's gonna be an amazing, interesting ride, and I need you guys to just flow with me and just follow with me as we seek opportunities, right, to take trades that will yield reasonable results within the confines of results that we're able to from the US NFP release, right? Ikmal, good day. It's good to see you. How are you today? So, guys, if you're on this stream right now, you can just go to the chat box, comment your name or where you're chatting from. All right, just let me know where you're chatting from so that I can give a shout out to you, right? As we prepare for the NFP. Demi Seleni, you're welcome. Romanus Eze, you're welcome. Boniface Admadi, I'm sure that's Nigeria as well. You're welcome. You're welcome, 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 my beautiful and amazing friends. Yes, Ikmal, thank you so much. I am amazing. I'm fantastic as well. All right, so guys, in the next 30 minutes, we're going to be receiving data from the NFP. Right, and our job here is to simply um, figure out, right? Our job here is to simply figure out what side of the we will be the most profitable one for us to stay with. All right, Fearless Eagle from South Africa, you're welcome. John Muraguri from Kenya, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, as you guys already know, I am Adetola Freeman from Nigeria of Ilorin, Kwara State. Yep. So let's see. Boniface from FCT Abuja. Lovely. All right. So if you're familiar with the recent developments regarding the current misunderstanding, or how do I put it? The current breakdown of relationship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. All right. If you're familiar with that recent development, can you just drop an emoji in the chat box? I want to be sure how many of us are familiar or up to date with the recent happenings in the world around us. Josh from Kenya, you're welcome. Isuru, you're welcome from South Sri Lanka. Amazing. Amazing. So, guys, if you're familiar with the recent developments in the US from, the Doji system as led by Elon Musk and a whole lot of other things. All right. So, let us see how these things work. Okay. Real Saplat, you're welcome. The Bride, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Worldwide celebrities, fantastic. Ajulo Damilola, you're welcome. Subuga Amuza, Oladeji Isaac, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Aslan Miza, I think you're someone I see quite often in my streams. So Aslan, I'm saying hello to you. Noah Atuto, thank you so much. You're welcome. Warren Cyril from Kenya, you're welcome. Robert from Kenya, you're welcome. Real Seplat, amazing. We're going to talk about that. Boniface Amadi, the tax saga and immigration reform. Exactly. 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 That is what it is. That is what it is. Samir Jaraba from Colombia. Placide Akonde from Kinshasa. Fantastic. You're welcome. So, for those who are not familiar, let me break it down quickly. All right. So, Elon is currently one of America's biggest contractors. All right, is currently one of the U.S. government's biggest contractors. Talking about the aerospace program, certain other programs around energy and renewable energy in this sense, right, and some other initiatives. So I think 2 or 3 days ago, Donald Trump comes up and says, one of the biggest ways to save money, all right, one of the biggest ways to save money for the US government is that they cut all of Donald Trump's contracts, all right, to the tune of about 1.6 trillion US dollars. All right, so that was Donald Trump's posture that if they cut those aerospace programs and renewable energy and other contracts that the United States government has with Elon Musk, all right, that if they cut off those contracts, it means that the US economy will be able to save $1.6 trillion, which naturally makes sense. All right. However, Elon Musk, being Elon Musk, he was one of Trump's biggest supporters coming into the office. Has been the spearhead of the Doji program. All right, the Department of Government against overspending and all of that. Government efficiency, Department of Government Efficiency. That's the meaning of the DOG. All right, so Elon, as one of the leaders or one of the spearheaders of that program, felt slighted, all right, and the whole thing just blew out of proportions. I don't know if that's the word to use, all right, but let's just say the whole thing melted down, and we are where we are right now. Elon quit his involvement with the Doji. A whole lot of other things have happened. We're seeing Elon talk about revealing certain secrets. We've seen Donald Trump talk about certain interesting developments as well. All right. But, as traders, all of these gists sound good until we're able to decipher what exactly does it mean for the US economy. Right? What does this mean for the US economy? Give me a minute. So, the answer to that question is technically, all right, technically, this is supposed to be something negative for the US economy, all right, which means that if we're talking technicalities, all right, the way it's supposed to be, it means that the dollar is supposed to, all right, but you must also remember that we are in unprecedented times, right, which also means that if the government is able to succeed in, cutting the $1.6 trillion expenses, all right, that currently goes to Elon Musk as contracts, it means then that the dollar has a chance to recover, right? The dollar has a chance to recover. Oh, all right, yes. So part of the gist was that if Elon Musk does not um, give up those contracts and at the same time begin to pay his taxes, all right, Donald Trump threatened a 68% increase in in taxes against Elon Musk, right? Which is crazy, 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 crazy. So, what do you think about this breakdown? Is it clear now? Is this breakdown clear enough now? Do you get what actually went down between Donald Trump and Elon Musk now? Compare your car, you're welcome. Joseph Nakazito, you're welcome. Oluwafemi Jacob, you're welcome. Um, Annie B, you're welcome from South Africa. Ted Boucher, you're welcome. Unfortunately, this is not the place to talk about this. It's not my department, so I would not be able to comment on that. Syria Ktoku from Benin Republic, it's good to have you. Knowledge and wisdom. From my breakdown about what went down, is it clear now? Does it make sense now? Adolphus Okeke, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Tajos the Traveler, thank you. You're welcome. Charles Ochieng from Kenya, you're welcome. Good luck. Onwi Reka, you're welcome. Eshbon Omondi, you're welcome. Thank you for that wish, all right, for that beautiful wish. John Muraguri, I think I mentioned the name earlier. I think so. Okay, so you said it is clear. Yeah, fantastic. Jeremiah Olajide is saying, Wa'ala for them billionaires. Interesting times, I tell you. Interesting times. So right now, today, we're expecting the release of the the non-firm report, right, from the Federal Reserve, right? Yeah, Patience, good afternoon. Okay, so today we're expecting the outcome of the NFP report from the Federal Reserve, which generally talks about how much of the U.S. economy is going into paying non-agro related farm hands. All right, so that's one of the simplest ways to just describe what the NFP is: non-farm payroll, a payroll for people who are not farmers, or government employees that are not farmers. Okay, Omotayo Akoni from Ibadan, fantastic. Welcome, my friend. All right, so on that basis, you can see I have marked out the area of consolidations. All right, or let me say the areas of consolidation. Um, yes, I think this. All right, so we have our area of consolidation. Then we have positions. All right, where we have our support and resistance levels. All right, so those positions where we have our support and resistance levels are either going to serve as our um, buy stop, sell stop entries or our TP1, TP2. All right, but let's have that marked on the screen right now. Then we on to GBP USD. Yes, Mr. Boniface. To be honest, that's my job. I am not a licensed financial advisor, so I just share my thoughts, my opinions about the market, and leave it as it is. No, you don't. Okay, so for GBP USD, we have a consolidation region. Fantastic. Sell stop, TP1, TP2, TP3, buy stop, TP1, TP2. So this is what we're looking at. All right. For gold, this is the area of consolidation. All right, already marked out. And then for our pending orders, I think even for the buy stop, there to come. Yeah, so I think that's where we are. All right, buy stop, sell stop, and then finally, I think we can do UJ. All right, 1 hour time frame. Although this is looking real shady. All right, so remember once again the rules. All right, because we have rules that we apply. All right, in trading the NFP. Number one is to only risk amounts that you're comfortable risking. All right. Only trade with amounts you're comfortable risking, which means that right now, any amount of money that you're not comfortable risking should already be taken out of your MetaTrader account. Right. And the reason is revealed in number 2, beware of slippage. What does that mean? It means that sometimes when there's high volatility news release, all right, price could move so fast that it goes beyond your um, stop loss. All right, it goes beyond your stop loss and just breaks out of it. All right, so you don't want to get caught like that. It's one of the reasons why I'm telling you right about now. Okay. Ukandu promise. Is this your first time? Because your question sounds like it is. So the number 3 rule that we apply when we trade NFP like this is to apply trailing stop to every of your entries, all right, for security reasons. All right, the trailing stop is a kind of stop loss that trails the market movement. All right, what does that mean? It means that it follows the movement of price. All right, so guys, as you're watching right now, I need you to just keep dropping likes, 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 likes. Just keep liking the stream. All right, we're going to take 10 minutes um, and I'm just going to use those 10 minutes to teach you guys certain interesting things, okay? If you like that, please just like the stream, all right? And then we're going to do 10 minutes of just sharing your value with you guys. Okay, keep it coming, guys. Let's get the likes to maybe 50 or 100, all right? But in the meantime, I'm just going to teach what I want to teach. Now, this is likely going to be one of the biggest acts that you guys are going to have in trading, right? Probably going to be one of the biggest acts. Now, a lot of people trade the financial market with only one concern, all right? And that concern is what direction is the market going? Is it a buy or is it a sell? As good as that is, okay, it is like a two-dimensional drawing. For example, if I draw a house on paper, all right, and I ask you to choose between the house that was drawn on paper and a 3D model of that same building. All right, a 3D model where you can see what the rooms will look like. You can see what the furniture will look like. You can see what the plumbings will look like. If I asked you to choose between just the drawing of that and the three-dimensional model of that building, which would you naturally want to choose? I'm waiting for your responses, guys. Amazing. Boniface says they will choose the three. Who else? I strongly believe that majority of us would choose the 3D model of that of that building. So why is this important? Why is this important? The answer is simple. It's important because you see, when you only know the direction of price, that is like a two-dimensional knowledge of what price is doing. All right? You know that price is going this way, but you don't have any clue where that destination is. All right? What is the destination of that movement? Or for how long is price going to continue in that direction? So, for example, if I know that market is bullish right now, all right, I should be able to ask myself, for how long will gold remain bullish? All right. So that I am not just going to get into that trade, all right, only to find out that gold begins to reverse just after. There goes the traveler. Thank you. So I said if you had to choose between the drawing on paper of a building and a 3D model of the building, all right, I talked about the fact that majority of you were going to pick the 3D model. All right. Why? Because it shows more detail. All right. So the same way there is a kind of 3D approach to trading price action. All right. And that 3D approach means that you know the direction of the market. All right. And not just the direction, but you know how long price intends to go that way. All right. How long price intends to go that way. So what does that mean? It means that we need to know the direction of the market as well as the strength of that market. All right. And one simple tool that I'm going to show you guys that works like magic for doing that is a very simple tool, is a free tool. This dude right here, the average directional movement, very simple tool. Very simple, I tell you. Um, and all you want to do is, if you suspect that price is going bearish, for example, maybe from here, this is gold, it's bearish from here. All right. What you want to do is you want to ensure that the negative DI, all right, the negative DI, you want to ensure that one, it crosses above the positive DI. All right. But that's not all. You also then want to ensure that this red line, all right, is pointing upwards. All right, is pointing higher. Why is this important? Because in my own case here, the green represents the strength of the buyers. The brown represents the strength of the sellers. All right, while this red tells me the momentum of the market entirely. All right, so if, for example, in this case, we have the buyers crossing above the sellers, all right, and then I wait for price for the red to start to point higher, you'll see that as soon as this red line begins to point higher, all right, you'll see that price begins to move faster. We get bigger candles. All right, we get to have bigger candles. And you see that the reason why price is not moving much right now is because you see that this red line is pointing downwards. All right, and because it's pointing downwards, it's telling you that there's not much movement in the market right now. Okay, so in conjunction with your knowledge of trend or direction, you can add the ADX as a confluence. All right, you can add the ADX as a confluence. So for smart money traders, price gets to your point of interest, gets to your demand or supply zone. You can confirm the reaction from that zone by using the ADX. All right, but that's probably going to be something I'm going to be teaching on Monday during the session on Telegram. Right, so that you guys can ask questions and then we can trash it out as appropriate. All right, so let's begin to talk numbers. Justin T. Daniel, it means that you're probably on a very terrible network or your screen is really small because you can basically increase the resolution of your video on YouTube. Right? If you can do that, you get to see it clearer. Samad Bankole, the answer to your question, the link to the Telegram community is usually in the caption of all of our videos from FBS. And you can also go to Telegram and just search FBS Analytics. All right. You can see it on top of this this stream. You see it somewhere around the top of my screen, somewhere around the corner or that other. And you see Telegram at FBS Analytics. That is how to access the Telegram channel. All right, somebody asked me, how do we set trailing stop? I'm going to try and show you that right now, okay? I'm going to try and show you how to set trailing right now. So say, for example, if I have a pending order, let's say this is sell stop. All right, you can see my sell stop on the screen. Okay, so before price gets there, you can set your trailing stop. How? You right click on this trade, all right? You right click on the trade in your toolbox. You right click on it. When you right click on it, then you go to trailing stop. It's a menu there. All right. You can right click on it. All right. Once you right click on it, it's going to give you access to, to trailing stop. And like I've generally said, your trailing stop should always be between 20 to 30, 25 to 50 points. All right. Between 25 to 50 points. You can use 25, you can use 30, but it should generally be between that range. Eddie Joshua, 5 minutes to the most disappointing time. If it's disappointing, you can just sit by and just allow it pass, okay? There's no use putting yourself under any kind of undue pressure. Samad Bankole. Okay, buy stop 3. Sell stop 527. Gold, we have 33. Sell stop, we have 3351.8. Justin Daniel, just search the name, all right? Just search the name. Just search Adetola Freeman. You should be able to come up with something. Three minutes to the release of the NFP. And trust me, I have reason to believe that this is probably going to be one really volatile NFP. I have that feeling because there's a lot of liquidity that has been pulled together since start of last week. Akonde, relax. Like I said, I think this is your first time. All right. If this is your first time, don't worry. Just relax. You don't have to join us. All right. Just sit by and watch us do our thing. Okay. I am not asking anybody to place buy or sell. I'm talking about the position for a buy stop and a sell stop, which are pending orders. Trailing stop should be between 20, 25 to 50. All right, 20 points, all right, to 50 points. And you know that 20 points is 2 pips, all right? So you're working within that that range. And like I said, only trade with amounts you're willing to risk. All right. So if $50 is the only amount you're willing to risk, make sure that that is all that you have in your trading wallet. All right. Make sure that that's all you have in your MetaTrader. Rogers Ambeyi, this is not the time when we do analysis requests. All right. Our analysis requests are during the Monday session, all right, which is our general class and the market review. All right. So on Mondays on the Telegram channel, we do a general class and market review where you can ask questions, make requests, and stuff like that. Agos, that's what I've been saying. We trade with pending orders. All right, we trade with pending orders. Euro USD TP1 for the sell. All right, GBP USD TP1 for the sell as well. All right, gold is almost at TP1, but I'm sure that if you apply trailing stop, you should be out of that trading profit already. And this is why we use the trailing stop. All right, because whenever there's news like this, price gets to be quite finicky. All right, so what the trailing stop does is to ensure that where we once saw profit, we don't end up coming back into losses. But do I think that this is still bearish? Very much so. All right, gold is almost at TP1. It's dancing between the sell entry and that TP1 region. But like I said, if you have your trailing stop in place, you would already be out of these trades in profit. Probably good profit for that matter self. So let me hear you guys. Let me hear you guys. Did anybody make money? If you made money, let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me see your comments in the chat box. Why is everywhere quiet? Guys, talk to me. Body and mind, amazing. So you guys remember that when I was doing my analysis, I told you that I've marked out areas of support and resistance. So this rejection is not strange. You can see that I already marked out the trend line, I already marked out the support. All right, so this rejection is simply a rejection from the confluence of the trend line and the support level. But is it going to be strong enough to push price all the way back up? We're about to find out. But if you took my advice and you used your trailing stop as expected, you definitely must have made money. Definitely. Right? You can see another bounce from the confluence of the support and the horizontal support and the trend line support. So guys, you can delete your buy stop on EU, GU, gold. You guys can delete your buy stop. All right. If you don't have clear analysis indicating that you should buy, do not buy. Right? Because this level that I marked as my TP1 for the buy stop is actually another resistance level. And this as well is a resistance level. Amazing. Body and mind, good profit. Boniface Amadi, good profit. Aslan, yes, nice profit. Good luck, Unwirika. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it that properly. 26 Global Finance, lovely, 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 lovely. Made $3,000 on the sale. Jumi Mo made good money. All right, sorry about that. That slippage, like I told you, it's why we use trailing stops. Money Diary, beautiful. Gold, you're in profit. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Can you guys just keep liking the stream right now? At this point, I believe I've earned the right to ask you guys for that favor. All right, so please like the stream, like the stream, like the stream, guys. Amazing. Who else? Who else? Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Did you make profit at all on this trades? If you did, I want to hear from you. All right. And for those of you who would probably like to share screenshots with me later on. All right. For those of you who would probably like to share screenshots with me later on, I'm just going to drop my Telegram username so that peradventure you want to do that, you can just reach out to me and send the screenshots. All right. I would like to be able to document results like this. All right. So that whenever we have naysayers or we have doubters who join us in our midst, all right, I can just pull up some of the results from our past sessions, or I can just pull them up and then flash them on the screen so that whoever it is that feels like, oh, this is not legit, this doesn't work, can see those results as proof, all right, that what we do here actually does work. All right, John Paul Laniron made some dollars on gold. Lot size was too small. Sorry about that. But of course, half bread is better than none. Kenton, you didn't make any. I'm guessing it's because you're a Chelsea fan. That explains a lot. This is how I win. How I win. Tagos the Traveler. I told you and I mentioned it again and again. I do not give buy or sell. When we trade like this, we use a straddle trading technique. All right, which is where we place pending orders. Buy stop, sell stop. We place pending orders. Buy stop, sell stop at key levels of the market. All right, that's how we work it. All right, so it's not by saying, oh, all right, gold is moving now. Buy, 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 buy. No. That's why I also mentioned that we work with not just direction, we work with a knowledge of direction and momentum. All right, how fast is it going in that direction? See you at CPI. All right, my bro. All right, all right, all right, all right. But this one that you added as a side note, this one that you added as a side note, I hope it's not that Chelsea is planning on coming next season as a side chick. Because of course that's what you people do. You like being beside winners, right? Just on the side, not necessarily in the forefront, but just somewhere on the side. But of course, we understand who does not want to be associated with success. So this is how I win, win, win. How I win. All right, so guys, how has today's session been? How has today's session been? Did you make money? Did you enjoy it? Now, when you trade like this, all of that adrenaline of, oh, it's going up, oh, it's coming down, you won't feel it. All right? Because even if price goes your way and then begins to reverse, you're able to get out of that trade in a snap. Why? Because you used a trailing stop. Right? You used a trailing stop. And remember, there was a reason why I said you should delete your buy limits. All right? Your buy stop limits. You can see if you didn't delete it, you would have triggered the buy stop and reversed immediately after, which of course is a terrible thing because you would have lost all your profits from the sell, this buy. All right? So it's always important that you follow instructions as quickly as possible. Side winners and side chicks. Exactly. You can see now Kenton also was on the sidelines all through. All through today's session, Kenton was on the sidelines. Why? Because he's used to being on the side notes, on a side team, on a team that is a side chick to a successful team. Michael Lubem, you make $2,000. Congratulations, bro. Like I said, if you want to share screenshots of your profit, it's not compulsory, but if you want to, you can send it to my Telegram handle, FX Templar. I want to be able to collate those screenshots, all right, so that whenever we have sessions like this and somebody comes to challenge the authenticity or the reality of what we do, all right, it becomes easier to show them proof, all right, instead of just do cho, all right, so that we can be able to show real workings. Why I said that, okay? If you're happy and you know it, say hooray, hooray. Hey. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for joining me on another stream. Don't forget, Monday's session is going to be a lot better, right? It's going to be a lot sweeter, a lot stronger, because it's our community event, all right? Telegram, we get to interact. You get to unmute your mic. I hear you speak. All right. I hear you speak. I respond to you right there. Right. Unlike here where you have to type your questions or something. On the Telegram community, you unmute your mic, express yourself, make inquiries, ask questions. And as much as possible, I make sure, or at least I make an effort to bring answers to your queries. All right. Bring answers to your queries. So don't forget, join me on Telegram. All right. It's going to be 2 p.m. on Monday. It's always been 2 p.m. West African time every Monday. All right. 2 p.m. West African time every Monday. You should join us this Monday. All right. It's always fantastic. That would be interesting, Kagos. It would be interesting. So guys, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined me on today's stream. All right. I would have loved to spend more time with you guys, but um, I currently have certain things that I need to pay attention to or that I need to solve as quickly as possible. So I will not be able to spend so much time with you guys. But I want to believe that our time together today has been profitable. I want to believe that you've learned. I want to believe that you've made some money. And I want to believe that for some of you, you've been able to make something, a little something on the side. All right. So thank you so much for joining the stream. I celebrate you guys. I love you guys so much. God bless you. See you on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. And happy Eid al-Adha to all Muslims that are watching this right now. All right. Ramadan Kareem. I don't know if this is the Ramadan one, but happy Eid al-Adha. All right. Take care, guys.